It was a Black Sunday yesterday in Owo State, Nigeria, where gunmen opened fire on worshippers at St. Francis Catholic Church and detonated explosives. The attackers targeted worshippers who gathered to celebrate Pentecost Sunday in the church, killing scores of worshippers, children inclusive. Angered by the attacks, Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who is from Owo, says the state will track the perpetrators and make them pay for their crimes.
It's the most tragic event, horrific. I don't want to talk about what we see or what we hear happens in America. What has happened here is a child's play. What we have in America is a child's play to what has happened there. From information from the security agencies, this is the most dastardly act that can ever happen in any society. That it happened in a church, to say the least, is most condemnable.
Also, President Muhammadu Buhari condemned the killing in Owo, Ondo State, saying Nigeria will never surrender to evil and wicked people. The president directed emergency agencies to swing into action and bring aid to the wounded. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force said it has commenced investigation into the Sunday attack and killing of worshippers at the St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo. Joining us now is Akugon Adetokunbo Modupe, an Indigine of Owo, an Ondo North Senatorial District candidate for the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. Akugon Modupe, good morning, and thank you for joining us on the morning show.
Good morning, Ruben.
First, condolences to the people of Owo. Black Sunday yesterday, tragic, incident, mass murder of innocent persons who had gone to church. What is the mood in the community now? Because that's your community, that's your place.
The mood, expectedly, is very, very sober, very. People are very, very subdued, if I may say. If you see the street of Owo is deserted. Nobody knows what is going to happen next, especially when you have lost confidence in government. It will interest you to know that in less than 2 weeks ago, they struck in Owo. Somewhere around Alafia area, Alafia Hotel area, and they killed a soldier and kidnapped a construction worker. So, and this is happening about a week after. It shows that the terrorists are not relenting in their activities, and there has been no action. It is soothing to hear that the terrorists will be smoked out, and I do hope that happens very quickly, because people, to say the least, have lost confidence in the security architecture, the security apparatus. Report had it that when they struck, that the 2 police stations, you even have area command in Owo, did not have the operational vehicle to respond. It is that bad. So where you have that kind of situation in your hands, it is almost an hopeless situation. Very, very sad indeed.
It's completely devastating. And you've raised this important point that the security agencies are not well prepared to deal with these kinds of situations. What do you make of the response so far by the government, who is responsible for coordinating and funding and equipping our security agencies. You heard President Muhammadu Buhari's statement talking about demons who will face eternal damnation and be fished out. You heard Governor Akeredolu, who swiftly returned from Abuja to deal with this, talking about how what's happening here is child's play compared to what's happening in America, and how, you know, they're going to fish out the perpetrators and what have you. We tend to hear that kind of tough talk. But what is your response to that? Are you in any way convinced by that? Do you really believe that action will be taken?
I am not convinced by the mere statements. It's like we're used to, so to speak, prepared, response to situations like this with no action. We have seen several cases of terrorism in Nigeria, and the government will make, a statement and nothing happens. It's like, things have come to stay. In a decent society, you have the president in Owo today, or on his way to Owo. But you're not going to have that. It is good that Governor Akeredolu, and I must give that to him, in terms of security, that is one area that he has, he hasn't done badly with the setting up of Amatekun and his response to security situation. And this happening in his own town, Owo, I believe he will make up for. But is there synergy between the state government and the national, at the national level? I don't see that. You will recall that there has been a controversy between, the state government and, the federal government on the issue of Amatekun and the rest of that. So if Governor Akeredolu belongs to the same party with the president, and they cannot even agree, they can't even agree on security issues, then where does that leave the masses, the innocent people? So rhetorics, mere statements, is not going to will not solve our problem. Unfortunately, the harmless, innocent people are the ones bearing the brunt of this, security failure, and it's a manifestation of the challenges of leadership that we have in our country. Things happen, and you'll be shocked that in a few days, life goes on as if nothing had happened. Yes. Like I said, in a decent society, we should have the president visit Owo today and give the people hope. Reassure them. His presence alone can make a lot of difference. But I can tell you that we're not going to have that. He had dinner last night, and today they are more concerned about the primaries, and life goes on. Very sad indeed.
And it's quite sad, because just like we've moved on from the Kano bombing recently, I'd like to talk about Amatekun. What's been their effort in the state as regards security?
Well, Amatekun, I must, tell you, hasn't done badly. But Amatekun has its limitations. For example, the kind of arms that Amatekun can carry, because they are not licensed to carry AK-47, and they're going to be confronting, terrorists that are well equipped. How do you reconcile that? So Amatekun, to a large extent, can only deal with situations that I am not sure that Amatekun is prepared, to deal with, terrorists. Because you can't go after terrorists with pump action, terrorists that some of them are coming against you with Uzi and very sophisticated weapons. And they are coming unannounced. So how do you deal with that? Intelligence gathering, and then the connection and the collaboration between the regular security apparatus and Amatekun is very, very important. There is this feeling that Amatekun is fairly well funded, and there hasn't been that support for the police. So a situation where something happens and, nobody is going to go to Amatekun to go and report. You go to the police station. So if you get to the police station like yesterday, and there are no vehicles, they don't have the equipment to do their work, so that leaves the citizens stranded. So that's the most we must work and retool, the security apparatus. We can't continue this way. Amotekun is good, but we must have a collaborative effort with the regular, security system. And, we have to invest in equipping the regular security system so that the collaborative efforts will yield result. But if we continue this way, the masses will bear the brunt.
Okay. I read a piece this morning by Bamidele Ademola Olacheju, titled The Most Dastardly Act of Mass Murder, in which, in one of the paragraphs, she argued that she thinks that this attack on Owo is as a result of Governor Akeredolu's position on security, on leadership, and specifically Amotekun. In other words, Owo is targeted as a way of sending a strong message to the governor who comes from that community. Do you think we can make that connection?
Well, it is difficult not to assume this position, given the fact that the governor has been very loud in, concerning the issue of security. And then he's been very focused when it comes to the issue of, Amotekun. He said he was going to have it, and he's having it. But like I said, if you look at the entire state today, and even the entire southwest region of the country, we are encircled. There are cells of terrorists almost everywhere. In Ondo State, there are locations where you can almost predict that people will be kidnapped, almost on a daily basis. You know those spots. So they have cells everywhere. For example, in Osa local government used to be part of our local government, so it's still the same access, all right? There's a particular village, Okeluse. People can't, if you go to that community now, almost half of the populace are gone. Because almost every day, they get kidnapped. So the people are helpless. Government seems to be helpless. So where do we go? Where do we go?
That's what I wanted to ask you. Where do we go? Because we have extraneous factors such as, the death of Gaddafi, the fall of the ISIS caliphate, which has led to a surge in terrorism in the Sahel generally. All those people are finding a home in this part of the world. And in Nigeria, we have our own peculiarities with our, inter-community violence that we have that's now been married to terrorism and organized crime. It's just a perfect storm for complete disaster. So where do we go at this point? What should the government be looking to do at this point?
Unfortunately, this is a manifestation of leadership failure. Because if we're talking about ISIS and all these, characters, our borders are very porous. All right, what are we doing about it? There has been no action. We talk and talk and talk and talk. We need to see action. It has happened in our, now. Nobody knows where it's going to happen next. So you really can't, this is a sort of guerrilla, war. It's a warfare. And we must understand that we're in a war, We're fighting a war against, terrorists that are very, very organized. They understand the terrain, all right? They're almost, when they take off, for example, they know where they're going to get out. That is why it's difficult to track them down. So why can't government, take action? We know our forests, all right? What are we doing? We wait in the town waiting for them. They're not going to tell you when they're going to strike. And you have a security system that is demotivated, ill-equipped, confused. Many of them are killed. Many of them are victims too. So they don't even have the motivation to fight terrorists. So this is not your regular thieves and, No, they are terrorists. They were prepared. They are well equipped. So they move, like what happened in the church. Reports had it that they threw explosive. So they knew that if they were going to be confronted, they could use that. And that they detonated before, shooting others.
Okay. The Methodist prelate, Sam Uche, said something. He said those that kidnapped him told him that they have surrounded the southwest. That even the bushes around Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, they are there. And predominantly most parts of the southwest. And also, can you help us connect this tedious link? When Governor Orton was talking tough against the terrorists, he was almost killed. Governor Keredolu talking tough now, and setting up Amotekun with other state governors, Owo was attacked.
Well, is the prelate not stating the obvious? He's stating the obvious. Everywhere you go in the southwest, it's almost like the formal security setup. You have terrorists everywhere. People get kidnapped on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. People get kidnapped on Lagos-Shagam, Benin-Shagam Express Road. Wherever you go, it is that bad. You can't even predict, you can't even say this is the location. They are not restricted to a particular area. The entire southwest region is encircled by terrorists. And it's unfortunate that the governors, they are not working together. It was a very nice idea talking about southwest integration. Is southwest integrated security-wise? Are they working together? Because they are speaking from every part of the mouth. Governor Keredolu appears to me to be...
You think if Amotekun can carry real arms, you think they can flush these guys out?
They should be able to at least,
So you think the next way is to see if we can get laws and with the federal government that can make Amotekun carry arms?
Why will federal government not support Amotekun? Amotekun is a collaborative security structure.
Well, Amotekun, they carry arms already, don't they?
They do carry arms, but the kind of arms that they carry,
but
they are unable to confront the terrorists.
Do you think that this will have implications for the integrity of the current electoral process? Because that's a big fear. If on election day or a few days to election, what is it the president called them? Some demons from the netherworld, suddenly show up and they start shooting up and down. How should the state prepare for such an eventuality?
Well, most definitely this is going to have an effect on the integrity of the electoral process, because what they're doing now is to create fear. And when people are scared, the first place you want to avoid is any crowded, place. Also said that the president referred to them as demons, also show that he has resigned to fate. Because if they are demons, it means that you can see them. They are untouchable. You can do anything to them. So it's a manifestation of the fact that there is nothing we can do, which is very, very sad. I was expecting a president that would give instruction that these people be smoked out within 48 hours. But he said that the emergency agency should please, move in and help people. What he's saying in effect is that there's nothing we can do about these people, but let us manage and mitigate the damage that they have caused. Very, very sad. That was uninspiring from a president. Very, very uninspiring.
Well, on that note, I would like to thank you very much, Akugon Adetokunbo Modupe, for joining us on the morning show today. Well, it shall be well with Nigeria.